Kia ora crafters, and welcome to our Christmas card making session. A special Merry Christmas to Linda in Motueka. Today we've got two cards we're going to be making. This one here is washi tape and some cutouts from a sheet from a paper pad that I found and a bit of string. This is paper and a stamp, so we've just cut to fit a frame essentially. So what you'll need today, some cardstock and card bases. You will need some patterned paper of various types. You will need some washi tape if you have it. If you don't, any other regular kind of tape or even paper strips, again, that's absolutely fine. Adhesives, glue, tape, whatever you prefer to use, cutting items and metal ruler. I've also got stamp and ink here. And if you have those, great. Otherwise, find an alternative. Cut something out of a magazine, use an old Christmas card. There's lots of alternatives. So we're going to approach our washi tape one first. And you can see here, there's a card base and then there's a separate panel that's sitting up on some foam tape. We're going to work on the separate panel first. So I've got this here. I have 3 different types of washi tape. It's pretty inexpensive, so you can get it $2 shops, the warehouse, all sorts of different places. But yeah, there's lots of alternatives, including just pieces of paper as well. So what I've done is just a repeating pattern, and that's all we're going to do today. Just lining it up along what I hope is a straight edge, and let it dangle over the ends, because then we can tuck it in. Because if you cut it off at the ends, it tends to peel up. But if you fold it under, then it tends to stay there. And so you butt them up against each other and then press it down firmly. And I'm, as I said, doing a repeating pattern of these 3 different tapes. Doing a plain black and then a patterned one. Just got to remember what I've done previously. So repeat this the whole way across your card, no, not the card base, across the panel to put on top. Now in terms of sizes, it depends whether you've purchased pre-made cards, whether you are making them out of cardboard or cardstock at home, but size-wise, just work with whatever you've got. Now, I've stuck it down accidentally, knew that was going to happen, so we peel it up off there, and then fold over the edges, and that will stop it going anywhere. Right, and then we have this one that's just kind of a little bit hanging over the edge. So, just kind of corner cut that so that you can work it around that edge. And then trim off that side so you don't have any bits dangling over. Don't have to worry about what the back looks like too much, because that will go down on the card and you won't see it. All right, so you can see there, that matches what I've done there. Now we're going to work on this little panel here. So all that is a piece of cardstock. I've used green in this case, a piece of patterned paper over the top, which has this little circle thing on it. Now this one, as I said, it's just come off something out of a patterned paper pad. There's some good alliteration for us. So all it does is get stuck down with my double-sided tape. Glue is absolutely fine, just use whatever you've got at home. The only thing might be something like a glue stick probably won't stick to washi tape. So you might need PVA, might work, hot glue, but be careful. That's why with a surface like that, I find that the double-sided tape tends to be the go-to. There we go. All I've done is cut that out of the sheet of pattern paper and then cut a piece of cardstock just slightly bigger. So it has a little frame. I do like the frames. So I've done it a bit wonky, but that's okay. Right, so we're going to pop that onto our washi panel. Around about, oh now I've gone crooked. Okay, so that's there, and I've just got a piece of twine. You can see I've just wrapped it around that panel before I stuck the panel to the card base. All sorts of things would look cool here if you've got some colourful butcher's twine, regular string like this, a bit of wool, all sorts of things. Just have a scout around and see what you've got at home. Okay, so now I like it tied off to one side, but if you want it in the middle, you put it in the middle. Whatever your eye tells you is the look you want. Okay, so there we go, that's the panel. Now what we would do now is use foam tape if you have it, otherwise just regular tape, and work it around the string. That's part of the reason that I used the foam tape, was so that it adhered well with the string there. So you'd stick foam tape to that and then pop it onto your card panel, just as I've done with this one. Right, that was pretty straightforward. When we move on to this next one, it's a little more prep work, but a very effective result. So what I've done here is I've got my pattern paper. I've got 3 different types, and I've cut 1 centimetre width strips from those coloured paper. I don't need all of these, but I just kept cutting. So I have quite a lot to work with. But, you know, again, if you cut a whole piece of paper, then, you know, you and the kids can do it, or you can make multiples, or however you would like to do it. So I'll put the other bits and pieces away. I also used a separate panel. I prefer working on a separate panel and then sticking it to the card base. I find that if anything goes wrong, it's easier to remedy that than a whole card. So what you see here is we've got this stamped piece underneath. Now I've done that first and then created the frame around it. So that's what we'll do here. So I have a stamp that says Merry Christmas, and I'm going to put it on. Again, I'm going with purples today. It's a much lighter purple. So hopefully that, oh, ink's a bit dry. See if that works. And again, if you don't have stamps, cut something out of an old Christmas card, or a magazine, or yeah, whatever you can find really. All right, so that's not too bad. Given how dry the ink is, I'm impressed that worked. Now that, we're going to stick to the card first. Okay. It's always the fun part, is getting this backing tape off. Right, so line it up so it's straight-ish. So that one I've put fairly central. So I'm going to try and do the same with this one. Here we go. And just trim off, turn it over so you can see where you are working. And just trim off the edges there like that. Oops. Okay, so now we have that sheet. Now we're going to start creating the frame. So I've gone through already and put little bits of tape on the back of these. But yeah, glue stick or whatever you've got at home will be absolutely fine for this, no problem at all. And where I've gone with this, so you can see it's kind of looks like it's a little bit woven, and it's literally just putting them on top of one another as you work your way around. Now this has got quite nice edging on it, so you can leave it or you can cover it, that's entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to work my way around using my, you can use more than 3, like if you used 4 then you would alternate them each side. But I could only find 3 that I liked the way they looked together. So I've gone with 3. And again, we'll just trim them off afterwards. So don't worry about what the back of it looks like. We will fix that up soon. And you can see I've got sort of some variation in colour and texture here, which gives it lots of visual interest, which is what we like with our cards, don't we? So because it's taller than it is wide, I fit 2 strips each side and 3 at the top and bottom. And I'm leaving a gap between each of them, but again, if you like the way they look better together, then go for it. Next, one of these next. Those at the top as well. I'm missing the pattern one, the stripy one. Okay, so you can see here, I could fit more in, but I don't think I need to. So I could put another one across there, but for me that would become just a little bit crowded for that sentiment that we've put there. So I'm going to stop there, and then again just turn it over and trim with your scissors or whatever you're using to cut with the excess off the back. And there we go, all the little bits and pieces, and they can get popped away. And so there we have our woven patterned paper frame. So again, this is very much heavy on the purples, but you choose whatever you've got access to, whatever you like the look of. And then they would get stuck to a card base the way that this one has. So I have used foam tape on this one, but not on this one. But again, that's up to you what you have. So that's our cards all done for today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. It's been a lot of fun doing this, and Merry Christmas.